I think that was my hand pushing off. I appreciate the.
Sorry, I felt like maybe
No.
under your arm off.
I would. I'd much rather you think I was having. Fuck yeah. I agree. He probably is. I'd rather that.
Learning kids. No, that's like a really good too. Even great really good learning pace. Yeah, Brandon, it really. One more, very sure. One more. So we're learning now. We're gonna learn something. Now we're learning.
Maybe as an instructor, it's more exciting because you can take it from knowing nothing to knowing everything else. So you can do it as an instructor. This thing up here, this little big patch and all this stuff. So the things that we look at when someone's passing by, we always are looking at crosswalks. You know, when it just right. That's like standard 101. We don't know anything crazy, but if I can stop him from getting anything in his back flights and that, it's like no prevention. He pushes into me, I push back. So cross, this is very, very common. It's like he's going like this, I want to go like that. That can get a little bit better and you get to I'm over here, he's pushing me down here, and I was like, oh. So I also have to slightly monitor my weight, because it's not just max force one way, and say, well, if he's going max this way, I'm going max out, I have to go the other way. That's like the baby step sort of motion. If he wants to rest up, I shut it down. I'm overextending my body, it pushes me back there. So, rule one, the first 4 things that I always do is I have to look at shoulder walking my leg, or as I say, shimmy. In order to get a good bridge, I kind of need to counterbalance my legs, so I go slightly outside my hip point, so I have good force. I'm in line with my hip, self-defense or whatever it is, or I do competition, I got 2 points, I got 3 points, I'm up by 5. I don't know what to do either. It's just kind of like competition is like not what wants it. So just keep that in mind. First thing I want to look at is shimmy or shoulder walk to try to get away from me here, further down the body, so that my bridge is somewhat. So on in here, boom, down, do that. Now he does his foot outside hip line, right where it comes to his butt, he gets to the next bridge. I let go lightly, hold my weight, he creates a shit of space, he gets his knees back in there, and now we go back to neutral place. So that's kind of like our standard operation, which is real good and basic. Shim, shim, shimmy. I think about like an air traffic controller, and I build ramps, so I kind of like shuffle them down to my lower body. So I'm kind of pushing here rather than pushing in. So if I've got big enough, I'm just gonna run through this quick thing here. There's a battle. I'm bringing my arm over his head to here. There's a bunch of going things that can do some hitting. So when I'm in here, just like back control, I'm pinching my elbows. I'm kind of corralling him to get him down on my hips. For me, I can go thumb in the back of the knee. I can physically grab the back of the calves when I'm pinching my elbows. And I'm primarily trying to deal with the basics, which is to get this cross-face pressure off of me so I can start the turn. So, shimmy. I have my air traffic controls. If I don't make this adjustment, it's going to be difficult to do a good bridge. Body comes in. I don't need to go as exaggerated with the bridge and the handball. Just need enough space. So we'll do that real basic. Again, bring past the guard. I'm getting cross-face to oblivion. I come in, I start my shimmy. I get some hip out, a slight bridge, just enough to lift the weight. From here, I always like to go in that safe self-defense butterfly sweep. For me, the most effectively sweeping, I want his collarbone touching my collarbone. Come over into that sweep. So that's kind of like basics 101 that's usually going to do. So let's go out a couple times, keep the sweeps on that. And then we'll go to
So you're just keeping them connected to your oscillation. I'm not trying to fool you. I need to
So as we get to learn this thing, especially we push our home, when we're over reversal.
So we're not trying to sell it.
Alright, you got the basics. Now there's variants you can do within there. We got variants in there. I can have my preventive pictures where I can have both arms on this side. You know, and that's a good way to stop the crossface from ever happening. Right? Everything else is the same. Boom. Okay. So, again, we're always looking at this, because from this position there's a tax that is going to happen on this arm. There's also going to be a tax that happen on this. So these are all little journeys that happen when people make these motions. You guys can see that. I'm not trying to light a bench press them off. Run on like this. Only giving enough space to one there and without having to be. So before we look at down, which is kind of like the way into control and speed. For me, whatever age you're from, you did. Yep. It was eye-opening to see that, where in competition, in the gym, we're not trying to make people move as much. We're also not necessarily trying to hold people as long. So, like, whatever we need to do, this was a heavy see, I was just like, So, there's ways to address that. But if you watch Brendan, you're going to see people competing, there are different dynamics and pressures, and what's trying to not let happen, and what's trying to let happen. And it kind of show info to me, which is annoying as the process is, if as a new practitioner, that's enough to not let me do anything, that's true. You know, decent wrestler, crossfacer, decent jiu-jitsu guy, there's a lot of it's force on force, and that was in my shoulders. Once we get beyond that, we have to look at how we really control somebody. I don't like my center line, my solar plex across his solar plex, so in most cases I don't want my head up here. I don't do a whole lot of cross-facing, especially in the beat. You guys do whatever you want. In no beat, I'll do a little bit more because I have to when that's some of the wrestling. Just keep that in mind. The underhook, and I'll show you there's like 5 or 6 things that I can do just secondly, me using this underhook to control hip. And then lastly, which is me doing like a hip hop, which is more of a wrestling move. Everything has to cross face him. If he's worried about this, and I'm just taking out in here, no matter what he does, which is posting on his left leg, that's not the issue that's been going on. He's stopping an annoyance, which is the cross face. But again, the more you pin him, the more you continue doing that. But again, as we look at the journey of jiu-jitsu, most jiu-jitsu is the way that we go, which this is the way that cross face, which you can out-power, which will not wrestle more. And then we start looking at don't overextend, and then we let you start changing directions a little bit. But if we're still focused on the cross face, then it's going to be wonderful. So the moral of the operation is we ultimately have to deal with the uncomfortableness of the cross face, but we have to address whatever form of control this is. And then I'll show you guys what I do in this thing. And now, so for me, I'm about to go bring this on.
You're just gonna stand up.
I'll use different words, but when I'm fighting for my underhook, especially when we're in a semi-pin position, I'm not really fighting to go here. The crossface is still maximum effectiveness. If he can get back to it from here, he can bring his arm over, put his elbow in between us, and then he can ultimately put his head on the appropriate side, and then he can give it easy underhook palm off. If he wants to go back over here, he can. As long as his weight position, his head was in a good spot, he can still win this battle by just pinning his elbow to the mat. You know, but if he's trying to be selfish and get that underhook with his head over here, it's a battle. So adjust the head position, palm hold the arm, he's back into it. Okay? So what I'm looking at, which is kind of self-defense, but it's just basic human body mechanics. For me, I want to control the elbow joint, and if I can't control it, almost like a, let's say, a snake grip. Boom, okay. Cross face me. Can you exactly make the shape of form? Really? How are you going to get out of this grip? Feeling away. So what I've come to understand is the only thing that is smart for him to do to get out of that grip is to elevate his toe. So if I'm in here, I'm like, I have to come up to get out of it. So by the time we stick to me, I'm right here, look at all the space. Then we both do it. Same thing, which is uncomfortable, but even if he's got a hip on me, nothing I can do on this is going to be me. I have to address that arm. It's not easy. Come in here, that arm's an issue. So two things that I try not to do is I don't go for traditional wrestling underhook to an armpit until after I've been able to switch my hips. So when I'm here, I'll work my way to the frame here. I'll use my legs at times. But just understand, I'm not trying to physically push him away. I'm trying to make him not have an option. And his only real option to get out of this trap is to elevate. And then I can turn up the rest. So again, the cross face is annoying. If you can't deal with that, you still need to deal with that. But once you deal with that, we have to figure out how to eliminate down pressure and threat of attacking. We all train who's going to get the underhook, but we haven't really run here. And look at that. Now from here, he doesn't want to necessarily just push me away like he's doing something.
negotiated when he was your buddy?
So for me, it's gonna be more of an early transition. So like come on this side here. So the hip hub is gonna be something that happens off of this escape. So as I'm here, and he opts to go there.
Right.
Whatever I can do. Now, if I'm pinned and I'm still here, I'm gonna have to ultimately go to that. So I'm not gonna use max force, knowing that I'm not gonna be able to re-wrestle him here. So I'm gonna let him run a little bit.
Just digging it out. Yeah.
I have to get some form of connection into it. I can come under. The biggest mistake I can make though is to dig it under it right now because it's gonna cause me to never ends. But all I'm trying to do is on the inside. Like in this, I got a little Viva. So both my hands across the V and my knees involved. So it's like, well, which thing do you want to go with?
Yeah, he's gonna help it.
Yeah.
You guys want to love your jiu-jitsu journey for the rest of your lives? Don't forget this. Don't miss this. This is like,
Sometimes when I can't get over arms, I'm short. I'll go like almost a north-south double and then it's over a trap. Something looks like north-south with the inside. I mean, would you? I don't know if you would. I used to work out a lot.
Sam, that's all he did with north south, and it was horrible pressure. But I think, once you just do north south all day long, you know that north south sucks because of the position. So, I would have to work with you.
Yeah.
Answer the question a bit more, which is like it's dissect philosophy. Besides going there, there's going to be, I think that they can look at is, what is the prospect's worth? Why are they doing it? If you can let them have it, but not, I 100% deal with the influence of it, you don't want to have to stop down pressure, and if you can go into a there, when we're working on leg locks, and all we're doing is mechanically, you have your foot, the joint, you have the knee, you have the hip, you have the wrist, you have the elbow, you have the shoulder. And ultimately, when we're playing with leg locks, we want to control the knee to break it, but we like to control the hip, and we also like to control the foot. So, I'm just kind of transcending leg lock mechanics to arm mechanics. And then running in a 50-50 position. So, I don't want him to have control. I want to push this elbow and knee out of the way. But I can do it with the spots of the joint. So if I can hold it here, I can control this knee line, push that and go away. I control the stick line through connection. So it's kind of the same deal here. I ultimately want to move my hip as close to the shoulder as possible. And I want to be up and away from me as far as possible. But I'm going to do that at the joint. I need the wrist and the elbow. The wrist, we spend more time self-defense addressing this with wrestling and self-defense. But we don't have a whole lot of time that we spend on addressing the elbow, right? Because I'm stuck. The only way to get out of that is to get away, which ultimately controlling the joint, which is the shoulder. By elevating that, because you can't deal with the grip, and you can't cross-face and knee harder, but in order to get that grip back in play, he has to concede elevation. If he leans in, he's going to swing. So you're going to win on the sweeps that way just because they're over-aggressive. So, again, if I'm here, I'm at the wrist, now I can, yeah. And then my frustration, this way, is that. So, again, that's the concept that I'm doing, is I'm paying people more appropriately, used to be 6 specific side mounts, but that was because the union way we put one huge rooms. Now, in one position, we have 6 different things that we just need. So then it's like, that's how important that is. That's how important it is that I have to protect that. So it's just, and keep doing the same shit, and try to do things. So, time's up. There's no social, obviously, lots of fun, lots of control. For me, you understand I want the underhook, but I can't put myself in my body position, being past this point, it's really difficult, and no matter what, the cross face or the yoke, the cut pass, oh, I'm here, I can do something. At this point in time, I can double down off my cross face. So those are like the simple things that I can either reinforce, speed, or grips. Ultimately, grips mean that so I try not to head out. I try to control the hips. I try to make sure my balance of my head position is most secure. So how do you elevate and how do you forward on that more. Go to point up. And so slow down this time. Just move this direction and move towards home. Alright, tense up. So.
Be a partner.
Like 6, is that 45 minutes?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I've seen one. I'll probably get 7:30.
But it's gonna be your friend. He's not gonna be your friend. You missed your chance. He's gone. We got on break. I love my shows. My shows really, they try hard, they really enjoy baseball. Hearing's okay. Cormac's one of the better hitters. That's what I'm saying. Hearing's pretty okay. Better than average. Cormac, I generally look at as not an average player. He's sincere, he thinks about things. I love that about him. Absolutely. He's one of the really So there's a a couple kids that are we've got really good pitcher. But when pitch count catches them, fucked. That's it. Yeah, the pitch. So there's a split pitch count. And you can learn to go. I think it's 55 pitches. And then it's 3 days. Yeah. So if you only go 45, you go 2 days off. But there's a heavy pitch count. It's strict. Because you have high school kids that are throwing their arms out and they've been playing travel teams at this age. And they get combine surveys right. You focus on one thing and you can't. That's what we do. It's kind of crazy that, you know, what you learn about like, restaurant in high school, you could throw 80 shots out.
Did you guys get any attitude?
Pretty accurate. That's all I did for years. That was
And I don't know.
Right, that's, I mean, like, me, that's where it's 11.
It's hard as a second guess.
There's, why did they actually did a good job of, like, not aerating some more through your chest into the lung, which they didn't know that situation.
They were about 20 people.
We didn't know. We should put a knee in somebody and then like, okay, now somebody's between me and the door, which is what I saw.
Then there's a taser with the last.
There's so many places I said.
Somebody was close to me. I don't always remember like all the things you go to teach, but to get it from here,
I really feel like it's an interesting perspective of like we watch. I was able to do defensive
We're now having.
I mean, do you need anything else from bottles? Well, that's what I'm thinking. It's like all these other counters and all these other things that you can teach. Like, do you need anything else? What was possible?
I'm trying to be proactive. Resign my collateral details. Now I understand the Crusty guys that 25 years ago. Don't volunteer for anything, don't go anywhere.
Dude, our instructorship is all volunteer, right? We just got done doing like a statewide training, huge lift. You got a bunch of like comp time overtime. We don't do overtime. I got my shit. he's trained already all the trainings. And then they're like, oh, that's not what you told me to do. And it's like, 'cause we did like a teach the teacher thing. So yeah, I'm kind of like, whatever.
I genuinely care about my coworkers. I want us to be safe and detaining safety. But and I get asked questions, and I'm like, well, yeah, the guy's in charge. So I was like, he's not doing it. Well, it's up to him. Well, there's no communication. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but I'm like, dude, if this is your role, and I know you don't train, and I know the other guy doesn't train. Hey, dude, it's unsatisfactory. You guys should train. And then I got in trouble for telling him that it was unsatisfactory. I'm like,
It's like a frame. Your guys are that. The duty of rest is going to be out on the streets probably tomorrow.
well, and I learned that my last foot chase I did for like shit to happen. At the end of the day, I could see the guys chasing for like 10 hours. Incoming guys on ATVs keeping, one of the kids was puking, we were out of water. Like, I called a helicopter and said, hey, we're going to attempt to do this shit. And they're like, you're just going to drop water? No, helicopter extraction. I'm like, what? We can do this? And then the two younger guys that were on ATVs, they're like, we never been on a helicopter, it's so cool. I was wondering, are we in trouble? I was like, no, tell me the old guy said, I'm going to have a heart attack. And I take them back, they got to my Jeep like in 5 minutes. They're taking us 7 hours long. I put in my Jeep, the guy's throwing me in the back. And then I ride 45 minutes to ride to Italy, back to the station, to the substation. And I was like, yeah, I wasn't going to have you hike back to the Jeep and then ride. But yeah, as a 50-year-old guy doing jiu-jitsu, like I missed jiu-jitsu class, I missed my son's jiu-jitsu class, I missed my neck juice, I got done with my wife. Fucking at 1 o'clock in the morning, I started at 6, 5 in the morning. I got back to station 1 in the morning. The next day, nobody said anything.
Right, no,
Had I arrested the two, or had I let them go? Nobody. This can't be.
But at this point, you're saying don't go to just on the flash. I like that. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're still going. Go back to that.
So yeah, I'll text you, see.
Yeah, text me like a little rundown, you know, of the day. Yeah, just so I like.
condition, you back a little from
Right.
and all that, you get the pressure, and so if you back too far away, stand up and then fight for those two. So, more counting, counters, points,
Yeah.
and then little polishing, go back to the beginning, back to the arm bars, back to the submission, back to the top.
But not this week.
No, I mean, like polish off this loop,
Yeah.
open guard, sweeps, taking the awareness of points.
Swings and little combos.
Showing, no self. I might just be traumatized with no self, so they play you, figure that out, but yeah, so I can't come in, Matt, I can't reach for your shoulder, you do this to me a lot, which is I call it forward. So I can't frame, so I kind of, it's not really a ghost escape in the sense that I can't, I don't feel like I'm effective on your elbow, and I'm like, oh, so go ahead and drive this, I'm trying, but obviously you just go chest to chest. I'm thinking I'm going to invert or regard, but it works on both levels. So I think, that's kind of the key. Well, it works with both of us. Yeah. That's like most jiu-jitsu, whatever level you have, you don't pass that to a lower generation. That's she, there's options, but like what we want to work on is what works is the best of the world. That's what we want. Then I want to teach, if they're brand new and Brady doesn't know what it is. Yeah. What works for what we need to learn now, understanding he's got to go and paint the base coat, picture for it's going to be beautiful. It was surprising once you got experience it. So, in that north south scenario, what are the key takeaways that Scott will do? So if you're here, what are the things that I can do to stop? We have a kind of corkscrew with the finishing of the dorsal screw, which my head to your hip stop is going to be the biggest problem stop. So, you might go on something like this, create a little design, fake, try to get out of commitment, and when I counter you to come back in, you have the ability to then get a better grip on that scenario as well. Because from here, I know that if someone scoops out, I'm really looking for like, which hips we come up with, we can try to invert. When you double work my knee, I couldn't even drop spot. Yeah, I was just like, but that's kind of where there's only like 2.5 options you can do from there. And because I know it, then I can stop it. So what I like to do is how am I going to stop it? And you move down the pathway from that. That's what I know. And there's going to be the corkscrew is showing you the finish that's good. Maybe you want south. Yeah. Here, now see, just double and put in this space. If you don't come and put it on the wall, show me, but that's just, so just cinch on. Now, you just need to come out and start, so the whole issue is you can't really reach to get the hip mode, you went a longer path, but it's ultimately not to get to the first place. So, you're going to plug in here, plug in here. I want to work my way in as you're working on your defense. Finding that transition. is if I'm hearing is that he does whatever I come out and gets his name involved, I want to be on the side of the center line. So if I'm here and I'm like, if he pushes me away, my weight naturally comes pumping down. But if he like thinks about leading me that way with his knee, my weight's coming over. So rather than thinking about shoving me that way, all you're really trying to do is encourage me to weight up the head to where this way.
Drag it under your hips too.
Yeah. So it's just like, what easy can we play the game and making the arms before you mistake position.
Change 30 degrees, like not much. Because I know you can do that forearm. See, I'm like, as soon as you show it, and the shimmy, I'm glad you mentioned that because I've been teaching that, not the shimmy. The same thing is not something that can over here. Get ready to bridge and bridge over your shoulder. You know, because they're just defaulting to this and then having it go there. So,
I'm not doing shimmy, I'm not doing a bridge, I just do a half-ass hip back. I can do my hand.
that's what I told them. That's what I told them. Do two strips. Trust me. And then you sign the boots. Told you to strip.
Shimmy, 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 bridge. Hip is good.
Well, I've been shrimp for a couple of years. I've been a blue belt at a cup. And I started going two shrimps. Like, if I do two half-ass shrimps, I'm going to do one big shrimp. And I just do a little bit shrimp. There's so much space. So much more space.
It says 50-minute time for you guys.
Can you do 45? I'm trying to think if you need 45 minutes.
Yes, he did just. She did a great job. I did great. You know what was
But look, she just gave it to me.
He grabbed my butt cheek the first time he did
Yeah,
it.
well, finger my butt.
You like this?
Getting kind of weird out here.
Don't worry, it's all.
You're the one who came out half naked.
That's because I heard about something about butts and
Finger in a butthole is like, hey!
Oh, all right.
So we haven't tried to wrestle up so hard right here, is that you're doing yourself a little bit.
Are you a little offended that he waited?
Like, have that forever.
What's that?
Are you a little offended he waited like 3 years to show that defense?
No.
You're fighting that? You're
No.
Don't make yourself.
I mean, I probably wouldn't have been ready to receive.
Oh, I absolutely was not ready to receive it at that point. And as a matter of fact, as much as Tanner yells while coaching in a competition, he was yelling at me to ignore the crossface and deal with the post on the hip. Because the guy he had a crossface in, but he also had a post just on my hip. And I'm trying to deal with the fucking crossface, and I'm like, I can't strip away from this guy. And I know he's like, deal with the hip. And I'm like, the fuck do I do with the hip? I don't know what the fuck.
He doesn't have a hip. I don't know what to do with the hip.
His hip's over there. I can't. His hand's right here. I don't know what to do.
Just turn over your right now.
Are you coming to class tomorrow night?
His hands over.
Tomorrow night? I think so.
I've been coming to night classes too.
Yeah. How's that working?
It's kind of fun. We roll a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to know that that competition.
No, it's still fucking in my head. That post on my hip, I can see it right now, and I'm like, that son of I just had to push the damn thing off, and he would have collapsed, and I could have done stuff, but no.
I said that's the fun, draining, and annoying is in a competitive setting, they're trying to fight it out with you, and there's competitive points and there's everything in it. It's just.
Yeah.
Show them all that, right? I'm not 100% sure if I want to. That's good. He says that. It's so funny.
eBay. Well, and that's why I actually signed up, so that they would. I figured if I join and give everybody else a chance. Oh, there's gonna be.
Everyone's waiting for you. Send me, if you can, the flights that you're on.
Okay. Because I'll forget about it if I wait till later.
You?
Hell yeah, I'm man. That's how stupid I am. Wow.
Think about just in general.
They've gone 107 years without winning a pennant. And I was like, yes, that's the team for me. That's who I need. And then they won. And I was like, well, son of a bitch. I'm following these folks.
I'm from St. Louis, so I'm just predisposed.
There's nothing good to do in St. Louis.
Except move away.
What's that?
Except move away.
Except for the way.
And watch the Cardinals.
And watch the Cards. Sorry, who was it? Bryant. Bryant had tweeted one day, like they had a night game and then they had another night game the next day in St. Louis, and they were like, he like tweeted from his hotel room. He's like, staying in the hotel room today because there's nothing fun to do in St. Louis.
That's very accurate. Except for go to East St. Louis and get in a gunfight.
Well, come on now. Take care, sir.
You got it.
I was taking knees and stuff. I was like blocking. I'm watching my face. It's like my pro boxing shirt. Blocked every shot.
With my face. Just learn some Iron Face technique. I'm gonna beat up your fists with my face. What's that?
I had this cough since yesterday. I'm like, I don't think I'm sick.
Aaron finally got to you. All right, now.
Everybody. Just know, Mike, you're the creation of why I come up with all this stuff. You don't have news. So What's your top 3 favorite dart passes, Scott?
What?
What's your top 3 favorite dart passes?
Get out quick, get out slow, get out smooth.
And have fun with them today? Boys, we'll see ya. See you tomorrow. Night.
Like, no, I'm just being patient. I'm just kind of looking, seeing, you know, yeah.
I'm not doing anything. I'm trying to stay out there.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to play with that. You know, just go back to it when it's not really available. Not really let myself get threatened.
It's hard to explain the concept point, you know.
good. It's a good like good rhythm. These guys real good today. They rolled like smooth, you know.
Yeah.
Brendan did. Nick did. For as strong as Nick is, he's smart about like being patient, you know. Or at least he is with me. I don't know if he is with everybody.
He is. He'll go a little harder with some of us, but
Yeah.
but not in a
Well, I think he's being. I think he's.
in a methodical.
Yeah, he doesn't want to like.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to be a dick, and he doesn't want to hurt me, you know.
Well, just like Josh, blue belt Josh, he's been training longer than what a typical blue belt would, but he's still got those gaps in his knowledge. You know, like 5 years of training, I think. But there's a break in that training, so he's just starting to figure out, you know. Like I'm watching him do moves today, and I'm like, oh, he has to compensate because he's got shorter limbs. He can't bridge the same way we do. He can't like regard or shrimping for him isn't necessary. So I was just saying, hey, even though you don't have to shrimp, start practicing shrimping. Bridge, shrimp, then knee shield. Because later, we're just going to smash your hip and you're not going to wonder why you can't knee shield.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I was telling Nick to go, watch Kenny. Even if it's quick, he does a little shrimp. He's like, oh my God, he does. That's why he said that.